Thank you. We have a lot of love questions. Can a romantic love relationship and personal freedom coexist with each other when a person is in an established romantic love relationship in which both acknowledge each other to be their lover? I mean, boyfriend, girlfriend.
Well, it depends on what you mean by quote unquote personal freedom. Because the idea is that if you really are reflecting to each other what you need to know, you are being honest with yourself about what kind of relationship works for you, then freedom in that relationship is a given, depending on what you are defining freedom to be. But the freedom to be yourself, your true self, begins with an honest expression of who you really are and what relationships are actually correct for you. Because if you're going into a relationship without having communicated what is truly representative of what you prefer, then you may be giving a false impression to the other person as to who you are and what kind of a relationship really works for you. So if you go in as your true, honest self, you will have all the freedom you need to be who you truly are, whatever that means, in terms of being in alignment with your truth, being in alignment with your passion, and being in alignment with the unconditional love you are expressing to the other person or people in the relationships, to allow them to discover more about who they are as they do the same for you. So look to your definition of what personal freedom means and know that when you are being your true self, freedom in a relationship is part and parcel. Because why would a relationship that is true, that is truly representative of who you are, curtail your freedoms, the freedoms that are important to you, to be yourself in any way, shape, or form? That would make no sense. But you have to be honest about who you are and what kind of relationships are actually relevant for the true you.
A couple questions about twin flames. What is the purpose of the twin flame, and how can a person recognize that connection? And how can we foster the twin flame connection to come together in this dimension?
There can be many meanings to this idea. Now, it can be representative of a very strong agreement that two souls may have made to interact with each other in a particular way that truly reinforces one another's ability to become their true selves. Can be a very deep and abiding love experience. But the idea of the twin flame has been misunderstood by many people on your planet in the idea that they must search for this. All you have to do is allow every relationship in your life to be as important as any other relationship, because everyone that is in your life is there for a reason and is giving you the opportunity to learn what you need to learn or to be of service to them in ways that will help them. And in that sense, you're all twin flames for each other, because they're all equally important, even though they may not necessarily be expressed in the same way. So we would let go and encourage you to let go of the classic definition of seeking out your twin flame and just move forward in the formula and attract what you need at any given moment that will serve you best.
If we transition to a parallel Earth that is a higher vibration than our current Earth, ever fall back to the initial version of Earth? If so, what reasons would that occur? For what reason?
Watch your definitions, because you don't fall back. You choose to lower your vibration. You choose to navigate to a version of Earth of a lower frequency. You don't fall back as if you have no control over this. So look to your definitions.
You said that we've already passed the point where there's no undoing climate change. Why is that? What happens to us from shifting to what keeps us from shifting to a parallel reality, significantly different enough that it all seems to balance itself out? And maybe similarly, is this the same reason that we can't just navigate to a parallel reality where someone who seems to have died is back and present again with us physically?
Climate change is a natural cycle on your planet that has, to some degree, been exacerbated by human technology and sped up. What you're experiencing now, if it wasn't for the pollution on your planet in a variety of forms, probably would not have been experienced for another century or two. But it is a natural cycle. And you knew that coming in when you chose to incarnate. So it's part of the challenges you are facing that spur you to create things that can mitigate the idea of certain climate change discomforts and challenges for your society, to learn to adapt to these things in ways that will allow you to grow intellectually and on a soul and spiritual level. The idea is that you have agreed to face certain challenges that help you grow, and certain things are simply not relevant for those challenges. So you will not necessarily automatically resurrect people in a new reality that have died because of the effect that their death has upon your soul's growth, in your ability to stretch yourself and reach out to them in spirit, as opposed to simply continuing to have them around physically. The result of agreements you have made with all of these different beings are the results of the challenges that you face that will help your soul to grow in certain ways that you agreed to. And so you will not violate those changes. You will not violate those challenges.
I know that some children remember having chosen their parents. Do all of us choose our parents?
Yes. Every single one of you, for a variety of reasons. You may not think so, but you do. It doesn't mean that the reasons are the same for everyone. Sometimes you may choose parents you have absolutely nothing in common with, but because of the situations that you will face in that particular family, it may actually catapult you in the direction that you know you need to go, just because of those circumstances. So you choose them for a variety of reasons. It doesn't mean that you will necessarily be vibrationally compatible with who your parents are.
Mm-hmm. When following my highest excitement, my physical mind starts to come up and wants control. It's from a fear-based belief that it needs control for survival. Can you give a few suggestions how to relax the physical mind to surrender to the control of the higher mind?
Have a conversation with it. Allow yourself to assure the physical mind that it is absolutely valuable and absolutely necessary for you to have the experience you are having of physical reality, that it has a job to do and it's doing it brilliantly and doing it well. And the idea of connecting to the higher mind is not something that supersedes the physical mind. It is something that allows the physical mind to have a willing companion in life that it can work with, and that the control is shared in the sense of the physical mind understanding that the higher mind only has its best interests at heart, and therefore it can relax the idea of its grip on needing certain kinds of control that are really not about control at all, but simply representative of a fear of being out of control. It needs to be told and needs to understand that the higher mind is presenting the physical mind through the energy of passion what it can experience as control automatically and easily, rather than having to work so hard at it. So you need to have this conversation with your physical mind that the higher mind is giving the physical mind an opportunity to experience what true control really is all about. And true control doesn't necessarily feel like an expenditure of effort. It feels like things are flowing very easily and fluidly, and the physical mind can relax into that flow and know that it is, in fact, experiencing the control that is built in to your being, to your soul.